Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I thought it might be fun to talk about new makeup releases. I started doing this kind of, I don't know, I'd say summertime, and did it, kind of regularly for a while, twice a month. And then, I don't know, fall hit and there was just so much coming out for the holidays. I got overwhelmed and then I just stopped. And I think what's good for me, this is kind of difficult twofold. One, because I see it and I want all the pretty. And the good thing is I'm starting to look at things with a little bit more of a discerning eye and not just falling into the, I want. So thanks for watching today. Let's talk about some new stuff. If you're curious, I am looking at the Instagram account TrendMood1. I love this account, and I also have a real deep desire to unfollow. Okay, I love it because it shows me all the pretty new stuff, and it's great. But there's so much that catches my eye. I sometimes have had to unfollow TrendMood just so I don't overpurchase. It's one of the things I do for myself when I feel like I'm clicking too many times at the purchase, putting things in my cart and send me things in the cart, send it to me. Sometimes I have to unsubscribe to this account, but this is where all of my images are coming from today. I'll make sure to link TrendMood1 in the description box down below. Let's start talking about the stuff that's new for Lunar New Year. This is the year of the tiger, and the first thing I'm looking at is the new release from Huda Beauty. This is called the Wild Obsessions Eye Palette, and they also have a liquid matte lipstick. It says Red 08. I don't know if this red is already in their existing liquid lipstick range and it's just in Lunar New Year packaging. I'm looking at the eyeshadow palette, and the truth is, although the tiger on the front is super cool, and I love a smaller palette, this like 9 shades is right in like the almost maxing out of how many before I feel overwhelmed. It's like the perfect size for me. I've just never bought a Huda eyeshadow palette. And what's interesting is I always hear that they're either really great, like the Rose Quartz, or they're really terrible. And I don't know. I've never really been pulled in enough to purchase one of these. This is definitely a pass for me, but I don't know. How do you feel about Lunar New Year releases? I am not excited in this one from Huda. Another one that there is of course, there's a Colourpop one. And this Colourpop one is got an eyeshadow quad. I like that they're doing smaller palettes. They've got their Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Stain. That's a fairly new formulation for them. They have a lip cream, a lip kiss lacquer, and then they have some body powder and a body milk. I feel like the packaging is really what screams Lunar New Year more than necessarily the eyeshadows. The lip products all have that kind of red tone to them, so those feel very Lunar New Year, but I'm just not impressed by any of these things. There are very few things from Colourpop that I still love and enjoy. Most of my Colourpop that I've purchased over the years has been decluttered. And the two things that I keep and I love are the Super Shock eyeshadows and the Super Shock highlights, and there's neither one of these in here, so this is definitely not for me. There is a Lunar New Year limited edition packaging highlight from Clinique. This is their Cheek Pop in Gold Celebration Pop, and it has the imprint of 2022, the tiger. The packaging is red. It looks super cute, but I'll tell you, I have too many highlights. I couldn't let myself get this. If I'm not mistaken, this is not a new shade of highlight. This is a shade that they brought out before. I think this was last year's Lunar New Year highlight as well, only the pan impression is different. I think this has been around for a while, this shade, this gold celebration pop, but I've heard really good things about the formula. I feel like Clinique has been trying to transition out of what I remember them as when I first started wearing makeup into something newer and fresher. Sometimes I feel like it's successful, and sometimes I feel like it's not successful. I haven't tried enough Clinique stuff in the last handful of years to really say whether they're overall as a brand good, but I don't know, somehow this is still just a little bit intriguing to me. I'm not gonna get it though. So Charlotte Tilbury also has a Lunar New Year release, and these are not new products, they're just in limited edition packaging. One of them is the powder that she's famous for, her Airbrush Flawless powder, and that comes in tiger striped packaging where it's the gold, rose gold compact with red tiger stripes on the front. And then there is also a jar of her magic cream with that same kind of rose gold lid with the tiger stripes. I feel like the Magic Cream is good, but the price point is not what I'm comfortable paying for a skincare product anymore. And although I love the powder, I find that I haven't really been reaching for it. I've been reaching for other things. So both of these things are definitely on my not to purchase list. It looks like most of the Lunar New Year stuff is just not for me this year. I mentioned earlier that I have decluttered most of my Colourpop with the exception of my Super Shock shadows and my Super Shock highlights. Those are the formulas that I really love the most from Colourpop and I feel like are extremely unique, distinctly unique to Colourpop. And they are coming out with 10 new shades of Super Shock eyeshadows and 10 OG formulas. And I was like, really? Which ones are you coming out with? And I was hoping for like my favorites. The new shades are really pretty. If you're looking at the picture, they look a little pretty, they look a little pastel, they are really quite lovely, but they feel very spring, summer to me. And I was hoping for different shades from their OG shades. And I feel like a lot of the rest of these have a lot more punch and a lot more color to them, but they're definitely not shades that I'm interested in. I feel like they are the epitome of lazy makeup. You get like total glam polish from very little effort, and you really only need your hands to use them, to apply them. You could be more specific if you need something a little bit more in-depth, but I love these, especially for a one shadow look. So if there's a color that you like, I wouldn't recommend buying more than a handful at a time because they do dry out quickly, but they are a unique formula. And if you like one shadow looks that are easy to apply and take no time at all, I really still do love Colourpop. And there is one that I have right here on my countertop that I've been wearing a lot recently. This is a shade that I think came out with their second year holiday collection. This is Kush. I love this shade so much. I just picked up a new one because I loved it that much, and the one that I had was on the way out. But I wish they had different shades. Looks like Nars is coming out with a new foundation. I don't know. Me and foundation, I'm wearing foundation today. I normally don't. I would say 75% of the time I'm in concealer and powder, and I don't know why I keep buying foundation, so I'm probably not gonna get this, but it did instantly catch my attention. Here's why. It's called their Light Reflecting Advanced Skincare Foundation. So the minute you put skincare in the name of a foundation, I'm instantly intrigued. And this is supposed to look like skin, but act like skincare. It's supposed to be lightweight. It's supposed to blur the look of blemishes, dark spots. It's supposed to help even out the texture and the redness in your skin. And the minute I start hearing things like this, and it also says it's supposed to improve clarity over time. So are they talking like overall skin tone or clarity as in acne? And I don't know, there's no details about what's in the formulation, but if it's, you know, niacinamide and other things to help kind of even skin tone and make your skin look lovely, okay, that's one thing. But the minute you start putting in ingredients to clarify the skin for acne, and there are products out there in the makeup world that have things like salicylic acid, azelaic acid, other things that really do help with acne, I can't have those in my makeup because the ingredients that I'm using in my skincare already, I don't want to have one more thing. And I always forget that makeup can have those things in them. I'm expecting it just to be makeup, not skincare. So if you don't use a lot of skincare or use a very minimal routine, you might like having this in your skincare. But from someone who uses a ton of skincare and I change what I'm using on my face based on how my skin is reacting. Do I need more moisture? Am I dealing with some breakouts? Am I trying to work on, you know, hyperpigmentation spots? I always point to this spot here because I got a big age spot there. I'm always trying to find ways, and it's my skincare routine is constantly changing. I don't know that I would be comfortable purchasing a foundation that had ingredients in it that would also act like skincare. But I think this could be good if you like a lightweight makeup that will give you benefits of skincare because you don't have a really huge skincare routine. For me, it's definitely not going to work, but it's going to be $49. There's a new release from Jacqueline Cosmetics. It's foundation. It's her complexion collection. Now, I almost didn't want to talk about this, but I have some kind of divided thoughts. First of all, like, I remember Jacqueline from before she did her collaboration with Becca with Champagne Pop. I remember her from a long time ago. And I used to really love her from those days because she would just say anything, you know, put it all out there, be honest about everything she was dealing with. And I really loved that approach. I was super excited for her when she got the Becca collab and was able to make Champagne Pop. And then after that, I started becoming just a little bit wary of what she was talking about. And I think that was the time when we finally started realizing that some people were getting sponsored to talk about products but weren't disclosing them. And that's when kind of like the walls came crumbling down for me and I didn't know who I could trust on YouTube. And I don't know, that's when I stopped really watching a ton of really big content creators and started finding people who were more micro influencers, people who had smaller channels, people who were not afraid to say what they thought, and who I for sure felt like were not being sponsored. And then she comes to the point where she collaborates with Morphe. Later she launches her brand. There's problems with her brand with the lipsticks. Do you remember that? That was a while ago, but I still cannot forget it. Even though I did not order a single thing. Since she has had her own brand with her own name on it, every time something releases, I instantly get that feeling of cash grab. And that's terrible to say because there's so many people who probably just love everything about her. And there was a point where I really appreciated her perspective and I had fun watching her put on all the makeup that I knew I would never put on in the way she put it on. But it was like I lived my makeup life vicariously through Jacqueline. You know, the colors she would use, the things she would buy, like it was so much fun to watch. And then at a certain point, she went from being somebody that I really enjoyed to somebody I was wary of. And now every time I see a launch from her, I'm just kind of like a little, And I'm not saying don't buy her products, don't support her, but I have not been compelled to purchase a single thing from her line. And when I saw this, that was my immediate reaction, like, ugh. I don't know, I hope it's really good. I do, but I don't know that I would ever get to the point where I could cross over some of those feelings that have been building up over the years and purchase something from Jacqueline Cosmetics. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I would love to know what your feelings are. How do you feel about Jacqueline? How do you feel about her brand? Have you tried things that are really good? And I know, like, when it comes to people who try and test makeup, she tries it all. She knows what she likes. She knows what she wants to create, and I admire her for that. But I don't know that I'm willing to spend my money to try. I'm not sure if it's going to be a beautiful product or here's a product that was good enough that I thought I could sell. And I know that's terrible to say, but I feel that way. With some of her Morphe collabs, good enough to sell, but not necessarily the best. I don't know. Just gonna say that and I'll leave it there. But let me know what your thoughts are about Jacqueline Cosmetics and about this complexion collection. The blurring tint is $34 and the concealer is $26. Too Faced already has their new spring products out. They have this beautiful eyeshadow palette that was this close to catching me. It's their ethereal eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. The minute I read pressed pigment, I was like, nope, not gonna happen. But I'll tell you, with the exception of that hot pink shade, everything else looked super interesting to me. I'll tell you, a lot of those shades are very much in my wheelhouse, even like that kind of minty green, almost turquoise shade that's in the middle of the pan. I feel like I've purchased Too Faced and I've kind of phased out of Too Faced. There's very few things that really catch my attention. It's been like 2 years since I purchased anything from the brand. But I would love to know if this eyeshadow palette is something you're interested in. Is it's kind of like ringing all the perfect bells for spring? Let me know. I was kind of interested in their two Femme Hardcore lipsticks. Those are $23 because they look like they're supposed to be kind of glossy and hydrating and shiny. And I love a product like that. But I don't know that I need these. Of course, they do have that blush that has a little bit of kind of gold overspray on it and limited edition packaging of their iconic mascara, which never works for me. So I know that that mascara is not for me, but let me know what you think about this Too Faced collection. If anything was gonna catch me, it would be the lipsticks, but I think I'm good. I think I'll pass. There's a new release from Dior and I'm this close to purchasing it. Okay, so this is new from Dior. It's their limited edition houndstooth packaging that looks just like their bags. And if you look at it, oh my goodness, they look so beautiful. That eyeshadow palette, it's cool. It's kind of dusty pink. It's got grays and kind of like a deep plum. It just, But I reminded myself that I feel like I have shades like this in my singles, but especially in my Wayne Goss Pearl palette. Some of these shades are definitely in there. But those lipsticks, oh my goodness. Their lipsticks are $45 each. Look at the embossing on the bullet. It has the houndstooth embossing on it and that bright red shade. I won't let myself buy another red lipstick because I have too many, but those lipsticks are $45. The eyeshadow is $65. They just look so pretty. I want them, but I'm reminding myself I have a ton of beautiful red lipsticks. I don't need a Dior one with the houndstooth packaging. And I also feel like I have all the shades from the eyeshadow palette in a different area. If you have a lot of Dior eyeshadows, please let me know in the comments down below whether they are good for mature eyelids. I'm going to be 47 in 2 weeks. And I'm looking for things that not only wear well and are beautifully pigmented and last all day, but that also don't add additional texture to 47-year-old eyelids. I was going to say older and I was like, don't do that to yourself. And I was going to say mature and I hate that word. But I want to know what eyeshadow formulas are great for someone who's not 22, for someone who can't wear like all the sparkly shades. What is it that you reach for? What is it that you count on? Are Dior shadows one of those for you? Because if they are, let me know. I might actually pick this up because I am curious. My heart is totally caught by the Milani Flora collection. I'm not going to say that it's not. I have somewhere around here one of their fetish lipsticks in their matte formula. This one here is in the shade Secret, and they've got a whole bunch of new ones in like bold shades like fuchsias and reds, and that is so exciting to me. They also have a new lip gloss formula, an eyeshadow kind of chubby pencil situation, and their eyeshadow palette, it looks so spring-like, so pastel, pinks, purples, golds. It just looks so pretty, but I don't know that I would actually use the eyeshadow palette. I definitely know that I'm not a chubby pencil kind of like eye crayon situation sort of person. That is not for me. But the lip products are calling my name. I have not tried one of the Milani lip glosses, but I do have a couple of these lipsticks. I have one of them in the matte formula and one of them in the more shine formula, their vinyl formula. And I think they're really nice. They're such good products at a drugstore price. Colourpop has released a new eyeshadow quad series called their Stay Jeweled. I feel like it's new for the new year. It's interesting. I love a small palette. The minute you give me quads in a really specific color story, I love that. I've been loving the Viseart Petitfour palettes, and that's what these kind of remind me of. There's a green one, a blue one, some rosy tones, and some warmer tones, but I don't know that I need any of these. The last time I bought eyeshadows from Colourpop, it was January last year, and they were the 5-pan palettes. I didn't love the formula. I don't know, maybe these are really good, but I feel like I'd be just fine without these. YSL has a new lip product. This is their Candy Glaze Lip Gloss Stick. It retails for $35, and they look like really hydrating, shiny, kind of sheer-ish lip products, and that is very much right up my alley. I have a huge love affair with the YSL Rouge Volupté Shine. I have, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these. These are great, but I wonder how different these are to this new formulation. If you're looking at it, this of course has the gold packaging. The other one is silver. It looks like it's a little sheerer on the lips, but it might depend on the color. Looks like they have hyaluronic acid, mango oils, lasting visible shine, and it says high color. I don't know exactly what that means, and it might depend on the shade. but those are interesting to me. I don't know that I'm planning on adding any YSL lipsticks to my collection right now. I feel like I have just the right amount, but I would be really curious. If you try this new formulation, please let me know what your thoughts are on it. I'm super curious, but right now I think it's a pass for me. Oh, MAC. I forgot to mention this earlier, but looks like MAC has a Lunar New Year release. This is their limited edition Tiger collection, and it has a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. It has an Exo Dimension Skin Finish highlighter in Luna Lights. Is that an existing shade or one that they pull out for like limited edition runs? It looks super pretty. The pan embossing is beautiful. I love everything about this packaging on the outside, but I have never been a huge MAC fan. I've tried their highlights, I've tried their foundations, liquid and powder, I've tried their blushes, lipsticks, like you name it, I've tried it. And I'm not saying that they're bad, but it's just not a product that continues to pull me in. It's not a brand that just makes me go, ooh. If anything, it's always the limited edition collections where the packaging is like, ooh. But the eyeshadows, I feel like I have those. The lipsticks, some of them are just too light for me, and the red is, you know, I've got a ton of reds. I don't know. The highlight is like the only thing that's kind of like, but chances are I would use it for a while, but not for the long term. So this is definitely a skip for me. Oh, Drew Barrymore. This is so, I don't know. So I'm looking at this. Flower Beauty has done a collaboration with Charlie's Angels, and it's a new eyeshadow palette, and it has 8 different shades. But if you look at it, please tell me that you don't instantly think about the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palettes that came in that circular round packaging and had a lot of neutral shades. That's all I can see, even though it's like a different packaging and Drew's face is right there. They're very neutral, and that like round packaging, that's all I see is those Tarte eyeshadows. I had like 2 out of the 3 of them, and I didn't like any of them. This definitely gives me Tarte vibes, and I'm not here for it. Charlotte Tilbury has a new foundation. This is her beautiful skin foundation. It's supposed to be medium coverage. It's supposed to look skin-like. It's supposed to like be beautiful on the skin, and I want it. And I'm trying to talk myself out of it by reminding myself that I don't really wear foundation. Maybe the reason I want the Charlotte Tilbury is that I've tried all 3 of her existing foundations. My favorite is the Light Wonder. This is so good. I also do like her Airbrush Flawless foundation, but I tend to use this not all over, but more kind of like spot concealing. If I have a lot of redness around the corners of my nose, if I'm dealing with kind of like a hormonal acne outbreak, where I've got this giant bulge, like just like coming from the skin, it can really hide the redness or the irritation that comes from acne. And I feel like I get complete coverage with it, but I don't like it all over my face. It's too heavy for the type of foundation I prefer wearing. And then I have to remind myself that I don't like to wear foundation every single day. I usually 75% of the time I'm wearing just concealer and powder. So I don't know why this is calling to me. Maybe because I like Charlotte as a brand, and a lot of the things that I have from Charlotte's brand are just like beautiful products, and they definitely have a place in my collection. Or whether it's just a brand that I aspire to love. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are about this new formulation, this new foundation, and Charlotte's brand overall. And I think that is gonna be it. Let me know what kind of has caught your eye recently. Is there something that instantly has you going, yes, that's what I want, or that's gonna solve a problem that I've always been looking to solve? Let me know what those products are in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.